Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be going over the top 5 best skinning farms that you can do in WoW. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. Coming in at number 1 we have the COBRA Scales farm. Now this one is located in northwest of Nagrand in Outland. Now this one is where you're going to be wanting to target the snakes on the ground on the little bit of the hill that you're actually on. Now, they have a chance of dropping either not high level or Cobra Scales. The Cobra Scales are used to create a wide variety of different types of Burning Crusade model transmogs, which can only be crafted from the Cobra Scales, hence why they have such a high value. These Cobra Scales can actually be farmed up relatively easily, as long as once you've located it would be in your interest to create a macro going something along the lines of /target or /tar the Cobra's name, because the Cobras don't actually change their names, so you can always just spam the macro because they're kind of hard to see if you haven't really got that much of a good eye for detail, so to speak, because they're really low to the ground and they just sliver very, very slowly. So it's worth you just getting a macro like myself, which doesn't take all that long to even do. Now, that being the case, you're roughly going to average around about 25 to 30,000 gold from this farm, and to be honest, it's a relatively good farm, so to speak, but the Cobra Scales do take a while to sell because they are worth so much and there's such a little market for them. The Cobra Scales do have a high sell value, but that is because they're specifically for certain crafted items, and along with that, they do take a long time to sell, such as with the other different types of materials where they would sell fast. These ones sell a lot slower than the other ones. So bear that one in mind before you do like 1,000,000 hours worth of farming for these, because it's going to take a long time for you to sell a bulk load of an inventory of them. Other than that, let's move on to number 2. Coming in number 2 is the WARBEAR leather. Now this one can be located in Winterspring. Now this one is located in Kalimdor, where Winterspring is, and the WARBEAR leather can be farmed up from any of the bears in the zone. My preferred area is the one right here on the screen right now, and all you do is basically just nuke the bears, because you're a very, very high level, you're easily going to be able to take them out relatively easily. Now along with that, the WARBEAR leather is roughly around about the same gold per hour for such as the Cobra Scales as well that we covered partially. Now these ones take a long time to sell as well because they're used to craft like the things of the WARBEAR woolies. Now this WARBEAR leather actually sells for a lot higher, but you get such very little. It's kind of like a 50-50 on whether you're really going to get a WARBEAR leather or just rugged leather. Obviously, rugged leather is a bit of a bust on most realms, so that being the case, the WARBEAR leather is the one that you're going to be going for. That's the high ticket item for this farm. Now, for an hour's farm, it's usually around about 25 to 30,000 gold per hour, depending on your realm, so I'd recommend that you double check your auction houses. And along with that, the module for all of the other specific skinning farms should be up on the Worth It add-on in the future. And if you're watching this and it is the future, just double check it and it will tell you how much gold per hour you're roughly going to be getting. Other than that, guys, it's a relatively easy farm, so let's move on to number 3. Coming in at number 3 is the Savage Leather farm, and that can be farmed up in the Firelands. What you're mainly going to be wanting to do is just go in there and gather up all of the scorpions and the turtles. These are relatively easy to do, as if you just pull one, you pull an entire pack of them. I usually go in 2 bursts of different packs, burn them down, and then skin them all, and then run out. An additional note for this farm, because Savage Leather is somewhat temperamental when it comes to price on your realms, is I would take a Potion of Treasure Finding. Because you're killing such a mass amount of Cataclysm mobs, it's worth your time for an hour's farm in order to just get what you can from the Potion of Treasure Finding as well. Now, I got a question recently, a while back, on is the Potion of Treasure Finding worth it for spending like $1,000 for one on some people's realms, and in other people's realms it's like 150 gold like on my realm. So if it's around about 1,000 gold, you're pretty much okay. And to just buy it and then use that for a farm. Anything a little bit more probably won't balance out as much. So I would bear that in mind. Probably about £1,000 of gold is probably worth the potion of treasure finding in profit wise, so to speak. But other than that, guys, savage leather is a lot higher demand, so you're looking at a higher sell rate than opposed to the other ones that we previously just covered. So you're looking at, if you did multiples of this farm, you're going to be making more gold more quickly as opposed to what you'll be doing for the ones that came prior. So that being the case, the savage leather farm is a brilliant farm in order to do. Now, coming in at number 4 is one of my all-time favourite farms, and that is the exotic leather farm, which is located on the Isle of Giants. On pretty much every realm for EU and US on average, this farm is one of the best farms for skinning. Now, this one is mainly due to the fact that it comes along with a load of different types of pets on this farm, and also giant dinosaur bones, increasing the gold per hour, as well as getting your exotic leather and some magnificent hides. This is absolutely by far one of my most favourite farms, and on average it gets you around about 20 to 30,000 gold per hour. Now that doesn't seem like a mass amount, but you've got to bear in mind that all of the items that you get per hour on this farm sell relatively quickly as opposed to like the WARBEAR leather farm. So I could give you a gold per hour for like WARBEAR leather, like 30,000 gold per hour, but if it takes like 2 months for it all to sell, it's going to obviously take a lot longer for you to get that gold for those items, as opposed to doing the exotic leather farm, which usually sells within the week. So you get your gold return on investment, so to speak, faster, and you've got more gold in your bags. So if you're a person farming for a WoW token, then I would highly suggest just doing the exotic leather farm, because you'll get your gold faster and be able to pay for your token. That being the case, the battle pets on this have tanked in price due to the fact that everyone seems to have covered the battle pets. They're used for some battle pets at the moment in BFA, and they've gone up in price. They did go massively up in price, but now they've kind of like balanced out to a low value because everyone kind of farmed them. So you're looking at around about 1,000 gold per pet on average for basically just farming up them as a passive way of getting a little bit of gold, so to speak, if you know what I mean. So as you're doing the farm for the exotic leather and giant dinosaur bones, you're passively just going to randomly get a battle pet that you can sell for like £1,000. So it's kind of handy in that sense. But other than that, guys, let's get into number 5. Now, coming in at number 5 is no shocker to surprise, and that is the dredged leather farm. Now, this can be farmed up in the drowned market within Najjatar, and the dredged leather, if you are at either rank 2 or 3, will net you around about 20,000 towards 30,000 gold per hour. This is by far one of the best farms going, and it is current content, so you know the items are going to sell relatively fast, and as opposed to exotic leather, it's going to sell faster than that, and it has near on the same amount of gold per hour for this. So that being the case, this is by far one of the best gold farms that you can do for skinning at the moment, because it has such a high return on investment in a very short amount of time. Because it's current content, it has roughly the same amount of gold per hour for this farm, and that being the case, it's just a brilliant farm at this moment in time. Other than that, guys, that is pretty much all I have to say for this video. And yes, all of the values have been calculated by my modified Worth It add-on to see across US and EU servers on average to work out the gold per hour through Worth It. Now, I will be implementing something along those lines in the future where you can pick and choose your pricing source, but as of yet, I'm still working on like the UI and all that jazz. But other than that, guys, have a wonderful rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be on Wednesday. Have a lovely good day, guys, and I shall see you soon.